Welcome. In front of me I have the GARMIN Quatix 7, I think that's how you pronounce it, and I'll be going over unboxing along with a look at the watch itself, feature set, and then just give you my general thoughts and opinions as I go along it, or you could say first impressions. Okay, so let's just pop it open, there is a seal, so I need to cut my way in. There we go. So based on the name, which is Quatix, you can kind of guess that this is probably more designed towards, well, something with water. And if you guess that, you would be actually relatively correct. Anyway, and here we get Type A to this proprietary garbage plug charging cable, some paperwork inside, and that's really everything that there is that would be worth mentioning. Now the watch itself comes with the blue strap, silicone one, and a pretty hefty size. See if I remember how to boot it up. I might need to actually plug it in to turn it on, but we'll see in a second. So I basically press every button. Oh, there we go, it's turning on. Okay, so let's quickly run down some of the features of this. So as a watch designed for sailing, which is what this is catering towards primarily, we have things like boat data streaming. So we have speed, depth, wind. We also have GPS tracking, GLONASS and Galileo, altimeter, barometer, compass, and we also have maps, but not just any kind of maps. We have inland along with coastal maps. Again, watch designed for sailing. And then we get everything else that you'd expect from a watch designed for smartwatch, more like. So we have things like, you know, the heart rate, sleep tracking, blood oxygenation, stress, and just daily kind of monitoring of health and parameters associated with it. And then when it comes on to battery life for this, it's also pretty good, considering this is running not Google's, you know, Wear OS, but Garmin's own system. We're looking at up to 18 days of battery life in a smartwatch mode, up to 57 hours with GPS usage, and honestly, that's pretty damn good. It's most certainly better than what any other watch can really get, a smartwatch specifically, from its battery, specifically when using GPS, as that is really draining, and you can kind of see that right here as the battery goes from, like, you know, 18 days down to 57 hours. So just literally got a couple days. I do want to point out it is labeled as up to. I always love those, you know, instead of telling you that our tests with this and this give us this much battery life, it's up to. You know what? It could be also up to 100 days for all I give a shit. I might never get it, but hey, it could potentially get up to, you know, if I turn it off, for instance, it could get up to. So I just kind of hate it, but obviously Garmin isn't really advertising it like when it's turned off. It is stating in smartwatch mode, but hey, if you tested it in smartwatch mode, should have been a actual figure of how long it lasted, not up to, with the, you know, most kind of convenient battery life. So there we go. Now, if we take a look at the specification right here, we have a couple options for this watch actually. So we have standard, we have AMOLED, and we have solar. And this one I think is the standard one. So with that in mind, standard one comes with a obviously LCD display with a resolution of 260 by 260 pixels and 1.3 inches in size. So I do have to say the display right here is not looking the greatest. I'm actually not even sure if this is LCD, to be completely honest. It acts more like the I don't even know how you call those. It's like old watch displays that you used to have on, Timexes and Casios and whatever, that used to have a display. So that's kind of how it looks like. The display is kind of unreadable at angles. Like, you can see just straight up disappears. Look, it's privacy glass there. So yeah. It is a touch display though, which, let me just find an angle that you can see this. So there we go. But you can obviously use, typically, as you do on Garmin's, the buttons for navigation. Hello? Oh, it's this one. So you can use buttons for navigation. So let's just say I want to select English. You can see I can do it like that. One cool thing also that I really like in here is that you can set up Garmin's without ever connecting them to a phone. Props for Garmin for allowing you to select or set up a smartwatch that is supposedly smart without needing a phone. Something that other devices fail at, because apparently they're so smart that they always need to be connected to a phone. Otherwise they can't be used because they're so smart. But no, Garmin actually allows you to set it up without needing to worry about that crap. Just gonna quickly go through the setup so you can see how that looks like when it's, all good to go. Enable do not disturb. Sure. During sleeping. Sure. Let's use GPS. Oh, I don't think it's gonna find the GPS, honestly, as I am in a basement. Can I go back? Yes, I can. Okay. And there we go. So there is color to it, but holy hell is it hard to show. There is also some backlighting to it, though you would be hard pressed to actually see it. Let's quickly check if I can. Is there like, can I, like, I don't know, deal with trying to find out where I can try to increase the brightness of this display, unless there isn't much of an option right here. So this looks like something that is designed to basically not need backlighting too much, as the display just kind of gets illuminated by the ambient light, which makes sense. That allows them to, in this case, reduce the battery life. Increase the battery life of the device. As display is primarily what drains battery on any kind of smartwatch, or any device for that matter. So quickly taking a look. So right now the backlighting is completely off, and you can still see the display even without any kind of light coming from it. And even if I would turn off the lights on here, this display wouldn't be visible whatsoever unless I press a button. So that's pretty cool in terms of, longevity. So yeah. Now, as usual, this is Garmin, so it doesn't come cheap. This one comes at roughly 1800 PLN, which is, let me quickly check how much that is. Oops. So we're looking at about $480. Now that would also include tax. But it is by no means a cheap device, but it is purpose built, which I don't think there's many devices like this. So if you want to get something that is, specifically for sailing and doing water activities, this is a pretty damn good device. Also, considering this is designed for water activity, it does come with waterproofing, and it's rated for 10 atmospheres, which equates to about 100 meters in depth. So you should be also pretty good in that regards. But there's one more thing that I want to point out. So watches typically have, water resistant rating like this one, 10 atmospheres, but they are primarily rated for pure water. I think that's how you define it. So things like, salt water if the watch gets damaged from it, salt eats away from the seals, and they just stop holding, right? And water gets in, damages. A warranty wouldn't actually cover that for the most part. So something to keep in mind. And additionally, considering this device will be used, for instance, in sailing, chances are it's going to be abused a little bit. And when it comes down to watches that will be worn on your wrist while you're doing activities, ones that will require you to use your hands probably quite frequently, chances are you'll bump into different things, railings and stuff like that. So what might happen is the display might get scratched, and this is using a corner Gorilla Glass right here, and not sapphire, which would have been much better for this kind of watch, especially I would say at this kind of price range. This is supposedly right now on sale for the price that I mentioned, but originally it was about $200 more expensive. So yeah, it's not a cheap watch by all means. And I also didn't mention one thing. The specifications that I was reading were, for the most part, for the 47mm watch. There's also a 51mm version of this watch, which will have some improvements, most likely in the battery life, as that's usually what you get. And my screen just turned off, so hopefully everything is still good to go. But yeah, with the increased diameter of the watch, you would be looking at, instead of the 1.3 at 1.4 inches in size of a display, and 280 by 280 pixels instead of the 240, I think, or something like that. In terms of other things, water resistance is still the same, and primarily everything is going to stay the same. The only other difference is there's more storage on the device, and the battery, most likely, if I can find the info, will provide you with a better battery life. But those are, other than that, the device will primarily have the same kind of feature set. Now quickly checking one more thing. So I do want to this checking their website. It seems like the 51mm variant is going to come with a metal bracelet, which could potentially be nice if you like that. And on top of that, it's only, at least on their website right now, only allowing me to select the solar. If I change it to AMOLED or standard, it automatically switches back to the 47mm from the 51. So yeah, the 51mm only comes in solar, which considering it's solar, it's going to get you much better battery life. If you are constantly outside, you might not even need to charge this device at all, as long as you have direct sunlight and the device is being constantly topped up through just solar charging. But anyway, with that being said, that basically concludes it. Solid purpose-built watch. So that's about it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.